math, statistics, two words that so many people have challenges with and issues with, and there's a couple of reasons why. And so I want to spend a couple minutes on that. First is, for the most part, we don't do it very much. Even when we get into the workplace, we probably aren't going to do statistical calculations. We probably aren't going to do things like variances and standard deviations. And some people may say, well, if we're not going to do that much of it, why spend time reading about it or learning about it? There's a couple of reasons why. First and foremost, though we may not do it, we may not do a statistical calculation like a variance, we may have to interpret it, or we may have to understand it in some of the literature that we read, some of the studies that we read in the business. So someone would say the standard deviation is this, the variance is that, the mean is this. And so the odds are at some point you're going to be presented this information. So you have to at least understand the concept, and then from there understand its relevance. So while we may not do it, we may have to interpret it. That's really one of the first reasons we study math. The second is math is very similar to science. And there's a prescribed manner, process, if you will, that you go through to get the right answer. And that's why even at a young age, from kindergarten to second grade to fourth grade, seventh grade, we usually have a course in math because it's very much process-oriented. It tells you that if you do B after A and C after B, that you oftentimes have the right answer. And so it forces your mind to think about the manner in which you approach that mathematical problem. And it's supposed to represent how you would represent other problems as well. So it's forcing you to follow a process, to determine a process, and at the end of that process you can get the right answer. It's kind of a training in a way. Those are the two main reasons that we study math. Of course, you certainly need mathematical statistical skills for your own advancement. Any type of personal investment will look at things like statistics. The best example are odds. If you're going through an election year, you'll look at statistics in regards to surveys and the likelihood that a survey is going to be right and the errors that may occur, the percentage of errors, and how they calculate the percentage of errors. In other words, X candidate has 47% of the vote with a margin of error 4, 5, 6%. So, both within our personal investing lives, financial lives, but also in the directions of the country when we look at surveys, we look at some more mathematical models, so if you will. So those are some of the reasons why we use math and statistics. I think it's exceedingly valuable. How can we learn the material so much better? What are ways that we can be better at not only our assignments, but math? Well, you certainly have to read. Reading is probably the most important. Very similar to reading is videos. There's a tremendous number of videos online today, from YouTube to Google. If you want to type in how to construct a variance, it's pretty easy to do it. How to construct a mean, a frequency distribution, even so far as to conduct z-tests and t-tests, which are, and ANOVAs, which are all statistical calculations. It's pretty easy online with reading and certainly following videos. Practice is another one. You have to spend an exorbitant amount of time practice. And so those are the three things that I do, from reading, which is really important, videos, which actually allow you to follow somebody teaching that to you, and then certainly practice is another one that you can do. In general, math is a great subject. It's one that you're going to use for the rest of your life. If you don't use it particularly much yourself, then you're going to have to be able to interpret somebody's mathematical calculations. And so it'll help also training your mind on following a certain process before you make a decision. Hope this helps. If there's anything else I can do, don't hesitate to let me know. Enjoy the rest of the day, everybody.